Since this book said that if we have the belief, although it is a very big river, we can go over the river and then we can spread out the Dharma. If on the other side, if we do not believe it is, although it is over there, we cannot reach it. At the moment, this is when we meet the writer, and today we have invited the Archie. She sent the books over before, although she's not here. Thank you very much. Everybody can have a book. Who is writing this for this verse? This is from Gao Song Ru. This is our artwork. Is from the Gao Song. You can see that today, actually, we have so many people will come. There's about 10 people. That is the volunteers. They have been in Africa before. They will be here. But because of the pandemic, so they cannot come to the on-site, to the library, so they stay online.
So Yaqi, just now if you are online, you would have heard as well that the one who is going to do interpreting with you is actually is online as well from Kaohsiung. This is the South Africa new Jingxi Hall. As you can see, it is really, really big. In 2020, they did a plan and then slowly built the new Jingxi Hall. It's just really big. This is a home, South African Tzu Chi home. So, at the same time, when having to do preparation for the new Jingxi Hall in Africa. So let's just listen to this video. Yeah, a good start is half of our success. During the process of facing building the new Jingxi Hall, the mountains, I hope that our future demolition process and our construction process will be safe and smooth. Today we are going to move house soon. So as you can see, they are moving to their new home, the new Jingxi Hall. So although they can't get on to be on stage, but let's just share the videos from there. So we have in Africa, Tzu Chi Food Springs span 10 countries. In addition to their basic relief, volunteers also donated vegetables, seeds, and local volunteers lead the people to plant vegetables. In all the relief package we gave, the only thing that never ceases to grow is the seed. I hope that in such a difficult period, the spirit can be planted in the hearts of the volunteers so that they can be self-reliant and have more self-confidence moving forward. So here we can see there's also another distribution. In the Mongol district of Zambia, many disabled people are poisoned by the wrong consumption of cassava. Volunteers have affected by this eating the cassava. Sister Yaqi said, using the woolen bags, the sweet potatoes were planted and grown the new form of supplement food for them to eat. Instead of eating the cassava, consume the cassava, which is quite poisonous. Now volunteers and villagers can consume the potato leaves, which is much healthier. Then these young volunteers accompany their moms, grandmas, and all other volunteers. They cross the stream. They get into the jungle. They climb uphill and downhill to expand, to spread more care and love to everyone. So spreading love to all. You Master say you all at the local area, they plant the seeds of goodness in local area and let the local bodhisattva turn their lives around and let them bring out the light of life. Tzu Chi Volunteers Africa has reached the poorest places in the world through charity and helping others. So it is really touching to see all those volunteers accompanying the young one. This is another story that is very, very touching. This grandma, every time before she goes out, she always bring. She can't go out. She every time before she goes to Tzu Chi, she needs to put on her gray uniform, gray and white skirt. So you can see in this situation, this grandma, she has actually was very sick, but she even though very sick, her only wish is to wearing the commissioner uniform. So as we can see from here, that through this video clip, we can actually see what's happening, like in Africa, the love and care, the love to master, and how much all these volunteers wanting to be so close to master and want to wear this commissioner uniform. So today, Sister Yaqi online here will share with us the book that she wrote. This book is about the shimmering light, the long road in South Africa, the journey. So in this book, Sister Yaqi also wrote that like the light of the fireflies crossing the borders, regardless of races and religion, lighting up the earth of South Africa cut through the darkness into the every corner, little by little, reveal the brightness and the truest light, and warm sharing to everyone, the world. So we really need ones to bring everyone to South Africa. In this, yes, we are very, very blessed because Sister Yaqi sharing with us over there now is the middle of the night. So I like to be with you because you have all the strength. So where's all welcome, Sister Yaqi? Yaqi, can you hear us? Grateful. Thank you for the book that you sent to us. Thank you, everyone. This is my first book. Stories that I've written. Very grateful that today I have the opportunity to share with everyone in the stories in this book. Of course, in the book, there's a lot of stories, but I don't have all the time to share all. But I will today I will want to share with everyone, since we have this good affinity, sharing with everyone some of the stories in this book. So the first one I want to share with everyone is about this this novel. So in this in this novel written by Charles Dickens really touches me. And he said that it was the best of times, it was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom, it was the age of foolishness. It was the epoch of belief, it was the epoch of incredulity. It was the season of light, it was also the season of darkness. So as you grow, you just starting to understand like such quotes that he wrote. What is he trying to tell us? So I believe that the era that we are in now, this is also we the era of Tzu Chi, where we actually witness a lot of real life stories. So in even in the most despair time, there's still hopes in them. So this is really a very, even though it's a very confused like life challenges and all that, but still, but these stories we can all relate it. By reading this novel, we can relate it to the now, this era as well. So like in Africa, like in 1999, the whole world praised the miracle of the peace that broke through the racial barriers, breaking the high walls between the black and white, the apartheid time. But however, in the background, there are a lot of fighting behind the scene. The different tribals fight against each other, and political struggle, the struggle of power, the courage, the ferocity, and all emerge out from this racial barriers breakdown. So the really poor people have not yet at peace. So in the flip side of where everyone see peace and the end of apartheid, but actually it also brought up all the internal fights between tribals, especially in the local area, local tribals. So much hatred and anger among themselves. It's like peace being like seen from outside, but actually cruelty was in the inside. It's like the two sides of the same body coexist, but contradicting each other. So revenge is one of the things, the fights that are happening in South Africa. So in trying to survive through this violence, it was really hard and difficult for them to talk about love. But during this difficult time, however, there's only one person, and this one person, because of his great big love, broke into the Zulu tribal there, and Zulu tribal grassland alone to spread his great big love. Of course, the person I'm talking about is Brother Michael Pan Shui. So at that time, you can see this is really a perilous road that can kill, an endless, lonely, barren road. And in this road, you see Brother Michael Pan, he himself alone drove this truck, the car, going through this difficult road, dangerous road. And because of his love and wanting to care for so many, he did that with his. So a lot of volunteers. The guiding spirit there was just the white bread and broken tires, but a group of volunteers still follow Brother Michael Pan to volunteer, to bring out this strong spirit of people, the great big love of people to help many. So the volunteers recounted the memories. They said, in those extremely bitter times, only Brother Pan really risked his life to tell us what love is, the meaning of love. So driving through this difficult road, this challenging road, this journey is really, you can see is Brother Pan brought out a lot of volunteers to come out, to bring them out, to help others. So Brother Pan saw that as crossing the road, can see the graves, the old graves and the new graves on both sides of the soil slope. So those who died in the graves, you can see like a lot of them are all died of AIDS and so on. This is also the era of AIDS in South Africa. You can see Brother Pan also witnessed the groups of AIDS orphans and terminal AIDS patients with his own eyes. So he witnessed the death. So you can also see the orphans. A lot of their parents, a lot of them passed away from AIDS. So this is also the era. This is in 1997 when Brother Pan returned to Hualien. There's the time that he actually starting to understand first time that what sort of era is this. Then he realized that actually this is the universe is actually like an empty space that all beings can share the mission of how to serve the world in this universe. We can all share the love. This is one to infinite. So in that era, so he walked through the suffering, experienced the suffering, see the suffering. So and with the heart, he never waver. He wants to help people there. The images he saw shocked him to the point of speechless and made him we saw the suffering of the black tribes, the past, the birth, and the sickness, and the lives that had turned his own heart upside down. That's when he wants to really wants to go and help. So Brother Pan also went through the 4 stages of the 4 Noble Truths. And the first stage is seeing the truth of suffering, entering the truth. Stage 2 is the cause of suffering. The third stage is the cessation of suffering, how to end the way to end the suffering, to save people. And the 4th stage is the path to cessation for suffering. That is with the pure and unseeking, with pure mind, walk the Bodhisattva path, go among people to help. So the first stage is the truth of suffering and seeing suffering. Because he could not bear to see the poverty and the suffering of people, Brother Pan devoted a lot of his time and energy to actively counseling the Zulu residents through training. It wasn't easy. And however, the results also far from what was expected. It was full of frustration. It's really not easy to endure. But Brother Pan, very determined and kept helping. So in this stage 2, this is the cause of suffering. Everything must be mindful. So realizing that everything has its causes and effects, when such people enter the community, they actually also enter into the conditions, the environments, the situations, and experience it themselves, and to sincerely accompany these people, the volunteers and the people who needs help, and help purify their hearts. So Brother Pan share lots of Tzu Chi stories with them, touch their heart, and hope that they can also change their thoughts and go out and carry love, go out and help others. So in order to help others, we really need to need to contribute, need to do the work. The third stage is the cessation of suffering. The way to end the suffering is to save the people from suffering. Giving is a virtue, is also a way that can smooth out the pain of yourself and others, and give yourselves confidence and strength, giving happiness to others. Giving is the happiest. And the fourth stage is the path to cessation of suffering. So, and we must have a pure mind and need to be patient. We have wisdom to accompany the walk the Bodhisattva path, to go among the masses, to accompany the local people, the local volunteers. We must really be mindful and use our heart to accompany these the volunteers. Brother Pan carefully protect the local volunteers, guiding them. So in February 2012, at the Jingxi Junction, it is a very important year. That is when the turning point for Brother Michael Pan. So he took up responsibilities, and at that time in Master's morning disclosure to the South African disciples, so every time Master thinks of so many suffering in Africa, Master's very sad, couldn't bear to see African going through this suffering. So, but also in the same time, just before going back to South Africa, Brother Michael's 88-year-old mother was very ill, and Brother was very reluctant to leave his mom behind. So on the day he was about to leave, he just, as before saying goodbye to his very sick mom in the hospital heart, he just said to himself, like, please, he prayed, remembering Master's disclosure, he silently told himself that he cannot give up. Once diligent Master disciples, he said in his own heart at the moment that he prayed for the complete Bodhisattva path, let this son lose 10 years of his life in exchange for his mother's recovery. This is a really a piece of very truthful text. Brother Pan described the struggle back then, and many tears he shared, swallow alone. Every bit of it turned into a turning point in his life that he wants to do, that he wants to transform others, and going back to South Africa. So stepping out of South Africa, the first stop of his journey, the first country he stopped is the road to Eswatini. So at that time, there's no volunteers in Eswatini. But because we have nothing, it's actually we have everything. Because we have nothing, so we can start everything there, and everything is a beginning. So we can do a lot in that country. So one by one, Brother Pan make a breakthrough, making South Africa's transnational care taking this one big step. And so the first footprints landed is onto the village in Eswatini, the Manzini city. So everything started from scratch because so here you can see along the pile of rubbish, volunteers found Tabitha, a 70-year-old grandmother who suffered from diabetes, stroke, and bedridden for 3 years. And on the floor side, beside her, on the right-hand side, is the picture of a 26-year-old granddaughter who was still lying on the ground, Tandeka. Tandeka herself also has AIDS. So the mattress that the stroke grandmother slept on are almost unusable. And granddaughter Tandeka suffered from cerebral palsy, was born deformed and suffer from AIDS, just getting skinny. As you can see from the picture, she was really, really skinny. It's just like a mummy that is like 100 years very dried. So the death of Tandeka and the grandmother, that they are the Bodhisattva. Although at last stage of life, they are actually the Bodhisattva. Many volunteers came to help them. So at this turning point, the pair actually acted as mentors in their last moment of life to inspire and give us the inspiration, the spirit of great love among the local volunteers of Eswatini. So this is to me, this is to me, I think their image is always in a lot of volunteers that turn a lot of volunteers thinking that that we should really care for others and provide love to others. So to me, they are the mentors to Eswatini. So in this in journeying in March 2012, journeying through the first night of the transnational starry night, Brother Pan and the volunteers silently say to themselves that this difficult, though the difficult back and forth crossing the border, no matter how hard, how challenging and difficult it is, they really want to cross it and want to go and help others. We from no volunteers to many volunteers, from one village to another village. We wander into 6 different communities, suburban area. And when working in produce, one can only do best to cross the border. When you arrive, you can only do whatever you can to settle down. Yeah. So as long as there's floor, a roof, and a place where you can sleep with blanket, it is very worthy and full of gratitude. That when you are full of energy and wanting to help, you will get up every day and can focus on the task of helping others. In the early days, Tzu Chi much attention to Eswatini, went out the first few years in volunteering, recruiting many volunteers. In this video, as you can see, this is the elderly grandma who undertake really stumbling back and forth of the stairs. They are the Zulu mothers and grandmothers in their 60s and 70s. They work hard to carry and distribute the rice, care and share during the day, and do reports and organizing distribution lists at night. And I never read a single hardworking complaint in the report that brought back to me. On the On the contrary, one time when I was sorting out all the photos and videos that told, I saw this in the dark nights and under the shimmer light. The volunteers really touched my heart. Slowly dragging themselves one step at a time, going back to their resting area residence. At the moment, I cover my face with tears. The less they say they were tired, the more distressed I felt, and I just burst into tears. Therefore, I secretly swore to myself that from now on, I will sort out and document every movement happenings in Africa, the cross-border information brought back by the volunteers. I will inform Master. I will want to let everyone know. If without this, all these stories, I don't think I'll be able to write this book today because of all the history, the events, the stories that happening there was reported and documented. That's why I can now write this book and share it with everyone so that we all can know what's how's life there. So because of them, because of the volunteers that we have, now we can understand the situations there. So not just Eswatini, now we are gone to Malawi and Zambia. One township to another, one city to another. We slowly expand. Without what Brother Michael started, it wouldn't be what we can do today. So over the past 10 years, Tzu Chi volunteers have been localized in Eswatini, Namibia, Malawi, and Zambia. This picture shows a group of volunteers who are like wearing the stars and moons on them, walking through this difficult journey, giving people love and hope. Therefore, the light to me is not really from the sky, it's actually emerged from the ground. And they go into the hearts of all sentient beings to help others. So going back to the novels that the book that I read just now, the Dickens' A Tale of Two Cities, in there they quotes that we can see that it was the spring of hope, it was the winter of despair. We had everything before us, we had nothing before us. We were all going direct to heaven, we were all going into the direct the other way. So in 2020 to 2021, the COVID pandemic made it impossible to cross the border, but charitable work continue. And through this pandemic, we also grow. So in July 2021, the riot in South Africa and Durban was really serious. Durban was most serious and affected. During the whole national, the riot week, you can hear gunshots everywhere outside the community. I never thought the other day that I would have to pack to escape, making critical decisions for my family. So just realizing that the world is not easy. It is harder and harder, in fact. Is more and more disaster. So it's the light out. So everything happens for a reason. If just like from this picture here, we can see if we willing, we can bring out light to people. So lastly, I want to use these slides to share with all. I myself very touched. So inside here there is a quote. So it says that if everything happens, if a mother and a child hasn't taken this small road that day, then the broken thorn, twisted thorn and branches along the road would have grown thicker. So all life being will change. Even I believe that like in every one of us, we choose our own path, our own way. So the road that we took is in our hand. We have a choice. So I feel like I have the responsibility to take on responsibility to help to walk this Bodhisattva path to help others. So, and I hope that I can be the shimmer behind the scenes and let the love continue to shine in the darkness of South Africa. So this time is my turn to those moving footsteps into helping others. So very thank you to thank you everyone. So thank you to Sister Yaqi. So this is the book that is written by Sister Yaqi. So and documenting South Africa stories. So just now we can hear that Sister Yaqi time in South Africa. So like what Sister Yaqi sharing Africa just now, sharing with us Brother Pans, how he started the seed, how he started the journey. We are very, very grateful to him. So if you know about Sachi before, that she is actually a very fashionable person, but you wouldn't have thought, like, because of her affinity with Tzu Chi. Now she is really like a warrior, taking lead into walking this Bodhisattva path to help so many. So she went to South Africa. So she said that from it's because of the master's blessing and Brother Pan's encouragement. So she took the responsibility to go and help others. She said that. So every time that before they go on to take on a responsibility to do something, she always wants to have a peaceful heart and wants everyone to be at peace. Make sure everyone is safe to carry out the work of Tzu Chi. That she, with her love, you can see that she really, like, from every time for all the volunteers that they're recruited into Tzu Chi, they bring into Tzu Chi, she really cares for them. She doesn't have the heart to see them go through difficulties or face challenges, so she keeps accompanying them to even though she cannot be there all the time, but she always support them in whatever that she can, like through the phone or calling or any other ways, but making sure that their stories are all be told, be heard. That's why she share out all these stories of what happening there, how the volunteers carrying out all the good work, spreading out big love and care to everyone. And through this book, documenting it, she can share the stories out for everyone to hear. So in this short period of time, you can see all these volunteers in South Africa are very, very diligent. So even though you don't go out, you still can know the work of all volunteers. So these are all the feedbacks from everyone who heard Sister Yachi's stories just now. The feedback that people gave. through this platform. So very thank you to Sister Yaqi. Thank you to the book that Sister Yaqi wrote. So just like the one that we saw just now, the wind just now, the 56th anniversary, the phoenix and the dragon. So through their sharing here, that we can see that how they are to carrying out master works. So thank you to Sister Yaqi.